I've been really looking forward to covering this topic because it's probably the most common complaint that I get from creators in the scene. And it's all about the same people being successful over and over and over again. The main focus behind this is that creators constantly feel left behind and they feel like it's not fair. But the truth of the matter is that you can recreate this yourself. Content creation is one of my special interests. My name is RayBenefield, and today we're going to be talking about probably the biggest contributor to most top creators and top developers' success. Real quick, I wanted to share an awesome game called Pinball Sumo that I created that's based on physics and grappling hooks and not dying. Your objective in Pinball Sumo is to ensure that you have the least deaths at the end of every round. Sabotage your friends and push them around to create chaos. Control that chaos to come out on top. I love sharing these games at the beginning of these videos because they're the main reason that I'm able to do this, so if you don't like it, deal with it. In the last video, we talk about various paths to success, and today we're going to cover the core concept behind a path of speed, and that's what I call first mover advantage. First mover advantage is basically the advantage that you gain from being first to a scene, first to an occasion, or first to a concept. These are basically your early adopters. One of the most important things to learn about first mover advantage is that it's not just about being first to a scene, like first to a game. It's also about being first to an occasion or a concept, which is where most people can find success. If we want to dive a tad deeper, being first to a scene is basically being first to a game, first to an industry, first to a platform, whereas being first to an occasion is being first to a particular milestone, like a major update or maybe a sequel of a game, whereas being first to a concept is being the first to, say, recreate Among Us in 3D or recreate Fall Guys with realistic graphics. The reason why I talk about first mover advantage so much in the community is that it's nearly impenetrable, and you only really lose it if you get complacent. If you really want to find success in any industry, you need to figure out who the first movers are and how they got there and how you can plan on setting yourself up to be a first mover for something else. Trying to figure out who the first movers are for a scene is typically pretty easy. For example, Ninja was on Twitch before it was Twitch. If you know people that are first movers in your industry, please drop a comment below. I'd love to hear about some of them. I can figuratively hear you asking this question to me. So Ray, why are first movers constantly succeeding? First things first, first movers have unrelenting momentum. You don't just stop them. If you don't know what I mean by momentum, you need to check out this video. The amount of influence that first movers have cannot be over exaggerated. Considering you're one of the first to the scene, the position that these people have with the major players of the scene, for example, the employees of a company that make a game, is astronomical. Tie this in with an assumed trust with a massive fan base of supporters just for being first, and these people choose who succeeds with them. The amount of influence they have also reduces the bar of quality for recognition, which means gaining momentum is a piece of cake for them. And you know what's crazy? This lower bar for recognition doesn't matter if they're doing something bad or something good. Typically, a first mover is going to leave behind a legacy anyway. Could be notorious or honorable. So are you following me so far? If so, drop a like on the video. Just because first movers are such a big deal in a particular scene doesn't mean that you should let yourself worry about it. If we take a look at the path of success, what you can do instead is shift your focus to walking a path of value. Focus on building your skills, building your resources for self-improvement, then use that to build help content for the community and grow yourself some influence. While you're walking this path of value, you can pay attention to focusing on resources and skill building that will help you become a first mover to something else, like a concept or maybe a major milestone coming out. If you put enough time into these skills and resources, you could have enough to where you get the chance to become a first mover for a concept, and then all of a sudden you can snowball that into being a first mover in more concepts in the future, eventually hitting milestones and eventually hitting a new scene. I'm not saying ignore the first movers. I'm saying don't let them scare you. They may have tons of advantages, but that doesn't matter because they can get complacent. Then a spot in the hierarchy opens up, you move in and become basically a secondhand mover. Seriously, first movers make up a majority of the current top creators and developers. The first people who started with Unreal, the first people who started with Unity, Godot, tons of different examples of first movers in each of those scenes. I do want to point out, respect the first movers in your scene gain if they're still first movers after a decent amount of time, because it takes constant diligence to stay ahead of the game. So if you get the opportunity, don't lose it, don't get complacent, keep working, keep building. It's easier for you to keep building, but you still got to work at it. For the people who got to the end, here's a secret for you. Getting good with the first movers. Learn how to make friends with them. It's very important because they choose who succeeds, and you want to take advantage of that. You want them to be on your side. So learn to be a champion for them and for the community in the next video. Otherwise, take a look at the recent playlist. We cover the 3 key paths to success, which includes the path of speed, which we talked about today at the beginning. So, I'll see you tomorrow.